Well, it is the 11th of November. It is, what time is it? 12:29. I had the setting wrong. Sorry. So it is time for my half-hour break. I have 5 hours and 13 minutes to get to the consignee, and they have parking. And I have 5 hours and 25 minutes left on my drive clock, so I think I will make it. There she is, Miss America. I mean, at my truck. She's a beauty. It's a little bit windy out here. I'm not sure if that's interfering with what you're hearing. We shall see. But I've driven, I don't know, 400 or 500 miles, and that tarp job hasn't budged a bit, and I like it a lot. You can barely see on the bottom here see, I know you can see it better than I can looking through this phone right now, but there's a canvas tarp on top of this coil before I put the vinyl tarp on. Though it probably may not necessarily have been needed, because this particular coil doesn't really have any sharp edges. It's more because it's individually packaged to protect it from weather, so its edges are really not sharp or anything, but out of habit I just put my canvas tarps on any type of steel product now. And yeah, that's about it. I'm at this particular truck stop. I'm sorry, rest area. I'm probably 42 miles inside the Oklahoma border from Missouri. And I'll be approaching the toll plaza here like in a mile. So I'm on Interstate 44, if anybody's ever been here. It's a rather nice facility inside. I went inside and got myself a little, I don't know, frosty, Slurpee type lemonade thing. So for some reason, I think that's where my main need arises, is that it's got to be something tart. Yeah. So I don't think I'm necessarily addicted to caffeine, because I don't know, that stuff's always been pretty easy to not take. It's always been the obsession with having something sour to attack my taste buds. Silence. So there's the highway. Yep, it's paved road. That's about it. I don't know. See that sign? I can't read it from here, especially since I don't have my glasses on, which right here. I am required to wear glasses while I drive. It's on my DOT physical card, which I just had renewed. I went through my new DOT physical. One thing that I didn't know is that Maverick, transportation schedules and pays for DOT physicals, the reoccurring ones. I was not aware of that. I got a message on my Qualcomm, I want to say about a month ago, just what looked like a reminder. Let me settle that down there. What I looked at as a reminder to get my DOT physical accomplished. I didn't see any information in that message, or recall any information in that message that stated that they would be scheduling me a physical. So one day when I got home early on a Friday, which was rare, I was like, oh, this might be the perfect day to go get my DOT physical, since most of these places are closed on Saturday. So I called up and they said, yeah, come on down. So I went went over there. Actually, that's probably inaccurate. That's me misspeaking if I was running for political office right now. I didn't call. I just looked up on Google Maps the name of the place I went to before. And found them, and I gave them a call. I did call them, and I just asked them if they were open on Saturdays. They said no. I'm like, all right, thank you. And then I just drove there. And they did see me and accomplish my physical. And it's good for 2 years now instead of 1. Which I say is surprising because I have CPAP machine, for those that know what that is. And when I first accomplished my DOT physical, they only granted it for 1 year. This one they granted for 2. And anyway, there's like 2 diverging stories here that I'm trying to cover. 1, the DOT physical, and 2, that Maverick pays for this. So anyway, it was like a couple weeks ago. I was coming home on a Friday again, and my fleet manager gave me a phone call on a Friday as I was getting ready to approach the yard. And I always tend to feel a bit nervous when my fleet manager calls me when I'm approaching the yard, because that's usually to ask me to do something. And here my mind was set on going home. And they said, hey, do you have time to go get a physical? And I was like, well, I got one already. And they're like, oh, well, anyway, long story short, fortunately for me, I went to a physician that was within the network that Maverick allows us to go get our physicals at. So even though just recently in the last couple years, the federal government totally changed the way DOT physicals are done, to where all the physicians doing DOT physicals now have to do a special course and be certified to do these DOT physicals. So I'm not sure why there's specific Maverick doctors. But anyway, I lucked out, and they said, they let me know that would work. That particular physician office that I went to was covered in the network, and that I will be reimbursed for the cost. And I was not even aware of this. I was like, sweet, because that runs about $75 depending on where you're at. You know, it could be cheaper, it could be a little bit more. At my particular location in Illinois, it was $75, and apparently I'm going to get that reimbursed. So I never argue with getting money back. Well, sometimes I do, because anyway, got a few more minutes, and then I will be hitting the road. Let me see if I can show you what I've got going on for the rest of my day. And if it'll focus, point it into the sun. There we go. So you can see I'm just barely on the Oklahoma Turnpike. I've got 289 miles to go. Not very far. 5 hours and 14 minutes. And like I said, I have 5 hours and 25 minutes on my driving clock. And I'm going really close to Dallas. I used to live in Shreveport for about 2.5 years when I was in the Air Force there at Barksdale Air Force Base, but I don't try to relive those horrid memories of Louisiana in humidity and hot weather. In fact, that's what got me into aeromedical evacuation. I was like, what can I do in the Air Force that will get me out of this lovely location? And I found the job of my dreams, and then I retired. So that's it for today so far. If anything else is going on, maybe I'll throw it on here, but I just wanted to share that little bit of information about my DOT physical and with Maverick Transportation, in case there wasn't anybody. I don't even know if it's relevant, but it's something to talk about, you know. The drive is uneventful. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary is happening, so anyway. Talk to you later. Looks like they're closing the door. It is 6:55. And where that door closed is where I'm going to deliver. I don't know how, it's hard to tell through looking through my phone on how well this picks up outside, but I'm parked next to a trailer. I'm at the consignee, and I went inside, put my safety gear on, and went in and talked to an individual. And they said, yeah, I can park right here, and I'll be the first one unloaded. That door that you saw closing in my right-hand mirror there, that's what I'll be backing into. So I'm like set to unload in the morning when they open up. And it's only 7 o'clock now, and I've got until like 6 in the morning. So when I wake up, I'll go talk to them and untarp and unchain most of it. I tend to keep a couple of securements on until I get to the unloading location. I mean, like to the spot where they're going to unload me, because coils, I don't trust them. Anyway, that's it for today. And I was actually going to stop someplace before this, but the parking lots were full, so I had to come here. And so, yeah. I tend not to like to go to the consignees because oftentimes they don't provide some of the necessities of life. So I'm hoping life does not call tonight. There's another thing I figured out when I did when I was getting fuel today at a Love's. I've discovered that they do not have urinals in the female's bathroom. Don't ask me how I know that.